I know it changed you, but you got to get to the root of it. Because if you don't, you're going to look up and life going to be like, it's going to be gone in the blink of an eye. You're going to be like, where did the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years go? You owe it to yourself. You deserve so much more than what happened to you. If they never apologize, you have to move on. You can't change what happened, but you can decide how you move forward. You're here for a reason. You seeing this video for a reason. You know it's time for you to get going. You know it's time for you to really step into the things that you know are in your heart to do. Those ideas, the dreams, the goals that you set for yourself, the places you see yourself going. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can do these things, but you have to let that heartbreak go. But you gotta identify first. So you can't change what you don't confront, and you can't confront the thing you haven't identified. That's the problem. Identify the glass ceiling so that you can focus on breaking through that. Identify what that box is so you can fight your way out of it. You know what I'm saying? We all have them, you know. It's just a matter of us identifying what those things are. Was it something that happened when you were a kid? Was it how people treated you in school? Was it a family member? Was it not having mom or dad? Was it feeling abandoned? Was it feeling like everything was going against you, like rejection? Was it somebody being disloyal? Was it a traumatic experience? Was it grief? Was it, they left? Not maybe on their own, but because they left, because they passed away, you felt like, how can I move on? How can I keep going? They're not here. They're not here to help me. They're not here to see me. They're not here to guide me. But they are. They there in spirit, you know? They're there in spirit. And I feel like God speaks through all of us because we're spiritual beings. We're spiritual beings living a human experience. This body, this shell, it's a vessel. You know what I'm saying? So I understand that it hurt. I understand it's hard to forget the thought. It's hard to unhear what they said about you. How they told you you weren't gonna be nothing. You weren't gonna amount to nothing. You gonna be just like your mama. You gonna be just like your daddy. No, you not. But you gotta believe that. You gotta see yourself differently. New views of yourself equal new heights for yourself. It's where it starts. It's the inner. It takes place in the inner part of you. It's the inward journey that will change the outside, right? Everybody trying to, conquer outer space with going to NASA and all these rocket ships. How about we start conquering the inner space? that'll change the world right there. You change your inner space so you can change your inner world. And if we're all doing that individually as a collective, we can't be stopped, because everybody giving from the overflow of the things that they poured inside of them. Everybody giving from a place of healing. I learned from a philosopher, a UK philosopher by the name of Paul Scalone. He said, the greatest gift you can give someone that you love is your greatest self. I feel like that starts with you. Like, the greatest gift you can give yourself is your healthiest self. And then the people around you get to experience the love that you gave to you. It ain't you trying to prove to them, it's them getting to watch you like they glowing, they different. Like, it's just something about them, you know what I'm saying? But it's because they're experienced that aura, that energy. Like, you just vibrating so high, you know, because of what you poured into yourself. But it's hard to do that and start that journey when you haven't identified the root origin of what happened. There was an interesting conversation that took place, and this guy, he a manager or whatever, and he was just he'd be like talking to different girls and stuff like that. And most people in management feel like they can get away with stuff like that because it's like, well, I have to talk to the employees. But you know the difference between work and you kind of putting a little extra sauce on it. And he in a relationship, talking about getting the girl a promise ring and everything. They're in a long distance relationship, right? 3 hours away. And he like go out every weekend pretty much, hang out with his friends. He going to bars, restaurants, different girls, females. And he's saying that, you know, he don't feel like he's doing anything wrong because everybody, each one of them, you know, everybody paying for their own stuff. Like, we just kicking it. I ain't going home with her. She not going home with me. We just chilling. But the girlfriend has an issue with it. So you're not really communicating your outings. You feel comfortable telling the co-workers because we don't know her to tell her, you know, nothing like that, you know, but you just talking willy-nilly. And it's just like he went back to an origin story about how when he was in the 9th grade, mind you, he like 33, 34 now, but he went back to 9th grade about his heart being broken, and for 2 years he couldn't sleep, eat. His mama thought something was wrong with him. He used to have panic attacks and stuff like that. Like, he was down bad. And I'm not saying heartbreaking can't do that, like, but that was his experience. That was his, you know what I'm saying? I ain't here to judge him. But at what point are you gonna let that go so that who you with now, you can give them your best self and not, you know, still moving from that place of hurt because that girl hurt you. You don't really want to put all your eggs in one basket, because it sounds like you sure that you want to be with her, but you ain't really putting all that energy into it like you should, respect wise. Because I feel like, and it could be just me, but I feel like when I hear stuff like that, I'm like, oh, okay, he's still holding on to that. That's why he can't put all that into this. So I don't respect the movement. To each his own. Some people don't think nothing wrong with it, but I feel like if you can't be honest with your partner about everything that you're doing, it's because you know they're going to have a problem with it. And they're going to have a problem with it because deep inside you know it's wrong, you know? I just feel like if you want to be single and do what you want to do, just be single. But anyway, that's another video. But to me, I just feel like, yeah, he's still holding on to that. So I don't respect the action, but I respect him being able to identify the origin. You know what I'm saying? So that's just an example. But We have to identify so that we can work on progressing. It ain't about perfection. It's about progression. How can we start to take those steps one by one foot in front of the other, you know, so that we can get back to believing and dreaming again, but on a new level, you know what I'm saying? When we was kids, I know I had big dreams, man. I thought I was gonna go to the WNBA, you know, and then at one point I thought that I was going to be a computer engineer. I just knew that, like, I'm talking about elementary school, middle school. And some changes when you get to high school and into college and in the real world. And so I'm on a journey to getting back to that, which is what New Views, New Heights is about. It's that perspective and changing the way we believe and the way we dream and hope and have joy again. You know what I'm saying? Because that's when we could really appreciate life no matter what. Life being given to us in the form of like happiness versus joy. Happiness being about what's happening versus joy being something that you have regardless of what's going on. Joy being that thing that still is pushing you forward even on the days when you're not happy with the things around you. You know what I'm saying? But you can do it. This your sign. You can do it. You just gotta identify that, man. This our year's 2025. We already rolling into April, the 4th month. Like the first the first quarter of the year is already done. We rolling into the 2nd quarter of the year. When you gonna bust a move? Cause if you expecting somebody to tell you when to go, you know what? I'm gonna be that person. Let's get to it. Let's go. Let's go. You got this. Start today. Let's do it. See? Now it's on you. That heartbreak changed you, but you don't have to remain the same, and you don't have to keep holding on to that. Identify what it is so you can break free and fly. Okay? I love you with the love of God. Wherever you at, I hope you're having the most amazing day. Until next time, peace.